Good Sunday morning. Welcome to Sports Center along with Hannah Storm. I'm Bob Lee. Week 2 of the NFL. How loud is the cry for Tim Tebow in Denver? Why is he so polarizing?
And last night in Vegas, wow, bizarre does not even begin to describe the Mayweather-Ortiz fight and how that thing ended. Nobody's ear got chewed, but it was just as bizarre. All ahead on Sports Center. Shall we? All right, their dominance continues. The Phillies rolling to a 5th straight National League East crown. Let's see what they did to set a franchise record.
All right, Mother Nature, you talk about havoc wreaking. We've seen that this year. How about a game that kicks off after midnight? Number 8 Cowboys. They finished about the time we got into the office.
I think it has barely just ended. And Kyle Orton struggles in week 1 had the fans calling for Tim Tebow. Will the super popular third stringer get a shot? We talked to an insider coming up. Back on Sunday Sports Center with the coach, Mike Dick, in the house, getting you set for week 2 in the NFL. We haven't seen you yet weigh in on this whole tweeting situation with Chad. After a spectacular debut with over 400 passing yards, Cam Newton going head-to-head today with the Super Bowl MVP. We're live in Carolina for more on what's ahead in this quarterback showdown. And as Panther fans get their first regular season look at their new quarterback at home, we recall how some other rookies did in their home debuts.
Is there, and good to see him back.
Yes, absolutely.
Good to see him back in action. She's Hannah, I'm Bob.
You want to catch your breath?
We've got an hour to go until NFL countdown. All right, week 2 in the NFL. Some teams, we're told, need patience. Others have got to hit the panic button. We'll tell you which ones are which.
I love David Ortiz. I mean, baseball, but admitting, yeah, it's time for us to panic. I like it. He called it like it was last week. Hit it. But we're going to talk NFL, and of course, we're going to talk today Michael Vick. We'll see what he has in common with Babe Ruth, Brett Favre, and Michael Jordan. All ahead on Sports Center.
Good Sunday morning. Welcome to Sports Center. She is Hannah Storm. I'm Bob Lee. And look who's 2-0 this week, the Texans.
Oh, yeah.
You know about that. Houston's all hepped up. A huge test today. We're live in New Orleans. They have a matchup with the Saints.
I will not sing the Oilers fight song this morning.
Oh,
I promise.
Good with Bum's hat on.
Later. All right. College sports landscape still undergoing change. How do you keep up with it, right?
No.
Schools moving to new conferences at the expense of longtime rivalries. We're going to assess the winners and the losers when the dust settles. The Sports Center starts right now. Meanwhile, the uncertainty surrounding the Colts' Peyton Manning has certainly bred an air of expectation for the Houston Texans, even though optimism in that city tempered somewhat by the team's fizzle out of playoff contention after a hot start last year. Well, today, Wade Phillips, a tangible connection to those Love You Blue days under his dad, takes his defense into New Orleans to try to slow down the Saints and their prolific quarterback. Bob Holtzman is there. Morning, Bob. Tony Romo, his week 1 dissected and discussed, certainly disturbing in its continuation of a baffling trend of poor decisions in crunch time. And then redemption in week 2 in the form of a cracked rib, a punctured lung, and yes, a W. So a tale of 2 Sundays, leaving Cowboy fans to wonder how week 3 might play out without the adrenaline rush and with the pain of those injuries. Questions as to how and even if Romo will play against the Redskins tomorrow night. John Gruden checks in.
He'd be good on set pieces, maybe coming over to the back post. Anyway, Sports Center continues as we head towards Sunday NFL Countdown. She's Hannah, I'm Bob. And imagine this, the Pats feeling some vulnerability today. They play the Bills, and the Bills are 2-0. Adam Schefter's going to lay it all out for us.
The Pats feeling vulnerable?
That's what I hear.
Really? Very interesting.
We'll hear about it.
All right, and Matt Kemp's trying to do something we haven't seen in the National League since 1937, his Triple Crown quest. Who wrote this stuff?
I think I wrote it.
Bob.
I'm sorry.
Thanks. Entering the final days of the season. All ahead on Sports Center. Times NFL insider Adam Schefter with us. Lots of injuries, particularly at the running back position around the league. If you can clarify Arian Foster of the Texans for us, and also Peyton Hillis, he had strep throat. What's his status for the Browns?
Well, they are expecting Peyton Hillis to play, but strep throat can be a serious. Believes that he will be well enough to play with his hamstring injury against the Seahawks.
All right, Giants, Eagles. Deshaun Jackson returns a punt 65 yards for a touchdown, a final play of the game. Eagles overcome a 21-point deficit. Just a terrible night for the Giants last year. What's their strategy with Jackson now?
Well, that's a night that the Giants have not forgotten. It cost them the division title. It cost them a playoff spot. And it's one of the reasons that they made a punting change and went from Matt sent out yesterday. So if it's not the punts that he's happy with from his punters, it's the tweets from his punters.
What was he thinking? He wasn't thinking.
I would
What a
imagine the
dump.
Philadelphia fans will let Steve Weatherford know something today.
No kidding, not to mention Mr. Jackson. You never know. All right, AFC East, we've heard Patriots and Bills both 2-0. So funny, Tom Brady right after the win last week said, oh, we got to turn around and think about the Bills. The Patriots are going into this one with a spate of injuries. How's that affecting them?
Well, I think that there's a feeling around the league. Buffalo's been an explosive team this year, one of the surprise stories of the season. The fans there are going to be riled up. Going to be a great game.
And you know how close to the vest the Patriots keep those injuries, so that's a pretty impressive list when you look at it. Haven't beaten the Pats since September of 2003.
I believe that was the Lawyer Malloy game when the Patriots released Lawyer Malloy and signed him for the opener.
Oh, we do know that Fitzpatrick was still in college there in Harvard watching it all at close proximity. Adam Schefter, thanks so much. Look forward to seeing you coming up on Countdown. Bob?
Man.
Good Monday morning, everybody. Welcome to another live edition of SportsCenter alongside David Lloyd. I'm Hannah Storm. Do you think Kevin didn't show up because of the Eagles?
Could be. He was not happy with the way that went.
Lots of folks not happy with that, right?
Yeah. Michael Vick suffering from a broken hand on the heels of that concussion last week. Find out if you can expect him to miss any time and whether the Eagles should officially be worried about his
Unhappy folks there in Philly. This free agent frenzy, again, had them with very big dreams there, and now they are at 1-2. The fans booing Andy Reid yesterday, even as the team was taking a lead. A column in the papers this morning saying Reid's style is wearing thin. Vic is complaining, and so lots to talk about. Rachel is with us. Fascinating.
Excellent story.
We welcome you to a live SportsCenter. It's 10 a.m. in the East alongside David Lloyd. I'm Hannah Storm. We have some breaking news about Peyton Manning in just a moment.
Yeah, much to get to. Michael Vick.
All right, Antonio Pierce back with us. So many great things are happening, right? In Buffalo,
Good story.
Detroit,
Good story.
the Raiders.
Great story.
Cool.
I'm early.
All right, so the Jets sort of take it on the chin there, and very interesting times
Yes,
in the NFL.
Some good football going on in the first 3 games. Very exciting. I'm excited.
Is it the lockout or what's going on now?
You know what?
A lot of parity.
A lot of that, and how bad the defense are playing right now. It's kind of most of the time the offense starts off slow, but the defense, and I'm a defensive player, that makes me sad.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're sad. Let's move on to baseball, shall we? Will you?
Please.
Please. I love that. I know. It's great. Great scenes in Buffalo. Terrific stuff there on the road with the Lions. I mean, that was an incredible gutty win. So these 3-0 teams, a surprise, maybe not so much the defending Super Bowl champs. Wanted to win it 40-33, so the Texans get their first loss of the season. The Saints go to 2-1, and got to talk about Darren Sproles a bit because he's really becoming a weapon for the Saints, much like Reggie Bush was during that Super Bowl run. Why was he such a good addition, and how is that working out for them?
Well, this is where you look at Sean Payton. You hear people always say, oh, he's a designer and all these kind of things. Well, you can be a great designer in the passing game at utilizing formations, to do things like that. Create angles for guys that maybe not a good matchup. Wide receiver on linebacker, probably not a good matchup, head on head, but an angle it is. Tied in on defensive end, maybe not a good, but the angle, the formations that they use, and then how they get Sproles on the perimeter really makes him a dangerous player and the Saints a more complete team.
It would have been a big win for Houston. They came close to getting at 5 lead changes there as they look to go 3-0 for the first time. We know Peyton Manning. We hear this morning from Jim Irsay, he's gone for the season, so opportunity for Houston, but they do not get the win down there in New Orleans. Luckily, we have Merrill Hodge with us all morning long. That'll be fascinating. Good morning, everybody. As we roll along, it's 11 a.m. in the East alongside David Lloyd. I'm Hannah Storm.
That is us. Breaking news.